and that was really not the plan. Um, Nobody's on right now, so I'm just going to keep talking. And the reason why I went ahead and hit live because currently my phone is still messing up on me, y'all. Phone is still messing up on me, so I am not able to make videos right now. I have to go live, and I generally have been going live and then posting unlisted, and then I change it to public. But I came on because I wanted to talk to you all while I am feeling this and really share with you all where I'm at with my day and what's been going on with me. I haven't made a video in about, gosh, 3 days. And my last video, I was talking to you all about, you know, our flesh is not the boss, that we cannot allow our flesh to dictate, you know, how we maneuver this life. And yeah, we got things to do, places to go, we've got goals to make, you know, we have successes to achieve. You know, we've got so much that we need to do. And as I said in the last video, it's so easy to want to do what's comfortable. And we're going to have to push past that. But then also, I want to say while you're doing that, then you also want to make sure that you're not beating yourself up and that you look at all of what you have done and how you have been successful. It is so easy, y'all, for us to look at the things we haven't done opposed to what we have done. And y'all, as I'm talking to you all, as I always say, I'm talking to myself. Um, the last few days have been a challenge for me with my phone not phoning, my job not jobbing. If you know, you know. And here in the Midwest is freezing cold. I'm not able to get out the way I want to. So I'm doing cardio on the inside on my treadmill. I'm not getting that natural vitamin D, which we know affects our mood if we're not getting that vitamin D. And yeah, I'm just going to say, I've been kind of feeling a little blue. And I recognized that I had been feeling a little blue. And I said, you know what? You're going to have to do something about it. You're going to have to do something about it. Thank you so much, Zenith Me One. Thank you so much. Hello to you, Nehemiah R. Hart. I was just saying, y'all, how I'm on live, but I was intending to make this video unlisted and then load it because my phone is acting up and I haven't been able to make any videos from my cell phone. So that has been really frustrating because I'm so used to just pulling out my phone and hitting record and just, you know, talking to you all. And I haven't been able to do that. And what I've been doing is getting on my laptop and making videos. I'm actually sitting outside in front of my house. As you all see, I am just like bogged down in this heavy cold because it is freezing cold here in the Midwest. It is so cold, y'all. And so I just got off work. I work from home and I'm headed to the store. But what I wanted to share, y'all, is to not be so hard on yourselves. You know, don't beat yourself up. It is so easy, y'all, for us to look at what we're not doing. You know, it's so easy for us to say, man, you know, I didn't show up the way I had planned on showing up on today. And I'm finding that, and I know this is to be true, you all could probably relate to this, that you could be knocking it out the park and you're looking at all the things that you have not done. And we don't realize that sometimes when we're in this place of struggle or when we're in this place of, you know, feeling lethargic and feeling blue, you know, it's hard to show up the way we generally do. So can any of you all identify with what I'm saying? Can anybody identify where you're in a place where you're just struggling a little bit mentally, physically, emotionally, but yet you're still trying to show up the way you always have been when you had it all together. And then we put all the pressures on ourselves because, you know, especially if you're a person that's always thinking about others, or if you're an empath, you know, if you're a person that wants to show up for everyone else, or if you're a person that tends to put yourself last, you don't make yourself a priority. And when you begin to start making yourself a priority, along with that, that means some friend and family, they're not going to be the priority because you only have enough energy for yourself in that particular place where you're at. And so that's where I am, y'all. And I had to just stop for a moment and go, you know what? My name is Carlotta, by the way, if you all don't know. And I had to just say to myself, Carlotta, you are in a place where your job is wearing you out. You know, you don't have the energy right now. And it's in the dead of the winter, y'all. Sun's not shining. You're used to getting outside. I'm accustomed to getting my cardio in. And I haven't been able to do that. Hey, Chenda Friends. What's going on? Chenda and Friends TV. Hey, hey. As I was just saying, I'm sitting out in front of my house, checking my mailbox, getting ready to go to the store and get my groceries. We're expecting that it's going to get really cold here. Well, it's already cold, but it might be some light snow. I'm trying to get some things done so I can get back home. But as I was saying, yeah, I hopped on live, Chenda, because I was just telling them that it's been a struggle making videos from my cell phone. And so the only way I can do it, because I don't have any storage, I don't have it figured out. I'm going to go to the Apple store and see what's going on. I have to go ahead and make my videos from my laptop. And so I wanted to go ahead and do this now, thinking I was going to start driving and talk to you guys, but I'm just going to stay here for a moment and just share how I'm feeling right now. And I'm going to guess that if I'm feeling it, other people are feeling it, where you only have enough energy for yourself. You only have enough energy for surviving, you know? You only have enough energy to get maybe 3 or 4 things done on your list of 10 things. You only have enough finances, you know, in your bank account, in your savings account. You know the goals that you have set for yourself. And when you get to that place of where you're trying to put yourself first, then it can be a struggle because, again, as I was saying, if you're someone that's always thinking about someone else first, then you start to feel, you know, like you're dropping the ball. You're dropping the ball. You're not being a good friend. You're not being a good sister. You're not being a good daughter, brother, you know. So I'm just going to go ahead and encourage you all to give yourself some slack and recognize that you're not in that same place where you were last year, you know, or last week. You know, you could have been full of energy and thriving and, you know, you got all your ducks in a row. You know, maybe you're settled into your job and, you know, and you can kind of operate at your optimum. But when you're not in that place and you don't have all of that energy in reserves, then it is so important that you do that self-assessment, recognize that, and then know that you're operating in a place of trying to, you know, like be a priority. And so I just want to hop on and just remind you guys to give yourself some grace, because I tell you what, this last week, man, it was a struggle, y'all. I had been in the house all day, every day for 7 days. And y'all, one of the good things about my job is sometimes we'll get free tickets to some really nice shows. And I had 2 tickets. One was to a panel to hear, it was like some people that were going to be lecturing. I ended up passing that up. But on yesterday, I took myself to hear a live band at a really nice place downtown here in my city. And I knew that I needed to be around people. I knew that I needed to tap into some entertainment. I knew that I needed to detach from, you know, the all the things that I needed to do, my job, which has really just been wearing me down, and working on my exit strategy and all the other things. I said, I need to disconnect from that and go have some fun. And I couldn't wait on anybody else. And I went by myself. And so sometimes I got to tell you, you're going to have to do things by yourself. And you're going to have to get into a place where you say that you're not doing anything wrong by putting yourself as a priority and saying no to others when you just can't do it. And a lot of times, y'all, we are putting the pressure on ourselves. They're not putting the pressure on you. They're just asking you the question, or they're just inviting you. And you have to know when to say no, because you know how you're feeling at the end of the day. You know how you are, mentally and physically, and you know when something's off. So you have to be your best advocate, talk to God, who is your number one advocate, and then you're going to have to be an advocate for yourself. Okay? All righty. What are you guys saying? Glad you got what you needed for that moment. Girl, yes. It was so nice. Never been to this, to hear this band play live. What was the name of the group? Gosh, help me out. I can't even think of the name. I enjoyed it, and I knew a few of the songs. Hello. Oh, man, I'm going to mess up your name. Franwino? Is that Italian or French? You are so much for that impeccably dressed, but dressed up all the same. And I did my valet parking. Some of you all may know, or maybe you don't know, I don't see too well at night. And I sure did. I got out and got dressed up and got in the car in this frigid cold weather, drove downtown, valet park, went inside. And yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I walked in, I saw people looking at me. I'm like, what are they looking at? What are they looking at? And then when I went in the restroom and looked in the mirror, I'm like, oh, they looking at you, because you're looking pretty darn cute. And so I was sitting like the third, fourth row front. So we had excellent seats, and I had a really good time. Signal is low. Oh, bummer. Doran. Thank you. Well, y'all, it's not safe for me to drive and talk, but I really just wanted to hop on and say hello to you all, because I haven't made a video in a few days. I'm trying to be consistent while my phone is just causing me the blues. And, I want to just remind you all to give yourself grace and just tell yourself that it's okay to say no, and it's okay to make yourself a priority. And it's so important for you to do a self-assessment. Okay, Chinda, I'm staying warm. You see, I got on my North Face coat, and I've got on my layers and my hat. So I'm going to go to the store and get some groceries, make one other stop, and I'm going to go ahead and head back. And then I'm going to feel good that I made a video. I will not be defeated. If you all go back to my last video, I said that, our flesh is not the boss. We are the boss. And so we don't want to make excuses for ourselves, but we also need to recognize when we need to pull back, when we need to rest, and when we need to go out and be around other people. Take good care of yourselves. Take your vitamin D, which helps you with your mood. Take your vitamins. If you got a treadmill at home, get your exercise in. Love you too. Bye. Get your exercise in, and don't be so hard on yourself. Stop looking at all the things that you haven't done and start looking at the things that you have done. Y'all, I got so much done today. And if this will help you all at all, write down what you've done. Write down before you go to bed. Write down the things that you want to do on the next day, which I do. Have your goals written out so that next day when it comes and you don't feel like it, or when you feel low energy or you feel blue and you're pushing through, because y'all, this morning, man, it was so hard. And I said my prayers and I talked to God, and I'm like, God, you're going to have to help me get through this. I got a job, y'all, that is, oh my gosh. And I'm not going to be there much longer. I'm going to go ahead and put that out there. But y'all, after I said my prayers and I did some journaling, and then I looked at my board, my dry eraser board, or whatever you want to call it. And I looked at what I said I was going to do the next day. And I said, just get a couple of those things done. Do something every day to push that needle. Something every day. And if that means that you need to rest, go ahead and rest. But also try to do one thing that's going to push that needle towards progression in your life. And that could possibly mean saying no, because you're so used to saying yes to everyone, right? So together, y'all, we're going to make ourselves a priority. And I want you to remember this. I want you to hold on to this. It is not being special when you know you are no energy. And I mean, in the bottom of the barrel just to show up for yourself, right? All right. Hi, day, Bonnie Grimes. Hello. So good to see you. I thank you guys so much for hopping on my live. And it just brings me joy to hit record, because I know that when I share from my heart and I share authentically and I'm transparent and I'm letting you all know that I don't have it all together. And there are so many people that are out here in this social media world, and they're showing up with a smile on their usually going on, and you're looking at them and you're like, man, they got it all together. No, they don't. They do not. So don't even believe the hype. You just know that, we're all in this life together. And at the end of the day, you want to keep your focus on what you know that God is calling you to do, and make sure you're doing a heart check that how you move through life is coming from a healthy place. And sometimes, y'all, when you feel like, you're not even good company, not even yourself, that, you got to go ahead and pull back from everybody for a moment and don't worry about what they thinking. Because if they love you, they don't care if you only get one thing done. Okay? Hello to you. Let's see. Sam, oh my gosh, SAMRAWIT. Man, I can't pronounce your handle. But I'm so glad that you guys jumped on. I'm going to go ahead and end this live. I am so grateful for you all just stopping by and saying hi. And if I've just blessed one person, I am happy about it. And I was to hop on YouTube, because I will not be defeated. I will not be defeated. Y'all, let's say it together. We will not be defeated. All right? All righty. How you doing, Slim Shady M6X? Thank you for the hearts. I feel so blessed. Thank you. I'm new with this live stuff, y'all. But we're going to go ahead and step out of our comfort zone too. But get your rest at the same time. And don't beat yourself up. You are doing great. Something that makes you feel old. Something that makes you feel old. Oh my gosh. Okay, something that makes me feel old. That is, I was just thinking about this. yesterday. I had met this or was talking to this person, 37 years old. I'm like, 37 years old. They are full-fledged grown. And y'all, I'm almost, well, I'm not quite, but let me just go on and put it out there. I am 60 years old. And I'm like, man, I still feel 37. But I am 60 years old, y'all. 60 years old. That's right. So, y'all, if y'all younger than me, take care of yourself. If you're older than me and you haven't been taking care of yourself, then it's even more important, y'all. We need our energy. And we need to take our vitamins, drink your water, get your rest. And y'all, time, I tell you what, it is not on your side. So whatever goals you have set, whatever dreams you want to accomplish, hear me and hear me clearly. Show up for yourself, because you don't want to look back and say woulda, shoulda, coulda. Time is precious. It is not on our side. Alrighty, y'all, I'm gonna hop off. Bye. I thank you all so much for listening. And as I always say, know that God is real. He's the real deal. He loves you. He's rooting on each and every last one of us to win. And it's a partnership. He's gonna do his part. Be Berries, Ports, Highlights, 581. Bye, Chinda. Hey, David Reed. Tyler, what's up? All righty, guys. I'm going to go ahead and head to the store. Thank you so much for subscribing, Zenith. Me one. All right, y'all. Be blessed. Bye-bye. See you later. Stay warm. Bye.